What's up, people of Earth? It's Vaughn Joseph here. It's time for Who News. On today's show, Jussie Smollett gets sentenced in his fake hate crime. Ukrainian refugees in the UK, where are they staying? We'll fill you in on that one. 51-year-old millionaire who said love was for poor people is set to marry his 21-year-old girlfriend. And Jeremy Kyle. You all remember Jeremy Kyle? Well, he's back in the news. Speaking of news, who news? News you won't remember next week. Let's go. And now, some news. So, welcome to the weekend. It's Friday. Today is National 311 Day. I thought it was National 311 Day, like the old band. It's National 311 Day. Apparently, that's some sort of number that I've never heard of before. It's kind of like 111. It's a non-emergency line, so you've got your own day. Congratulations. It's National Funeral Director and Mortician Recognition Day, National Johnny Appleseed Day, National Oatmeal Nut Waffles Day. I'm going to miss out on that one. National Promposal Day. Guys, time to suck it up. Sadie Hawkins has passed. Ask that guy or gal out to the prom because today is the day. And it's National Worship of Tools Day. Now, I'm just going to leave that there. I'm not going to touch that one. So, on this day in history, on March 11th, British author Douglas Adams was born, 1952. 1950, Bobby McFerrin, the Don't Worry, Be Happy guy. And Rupert Murdoch, the Australian-born American publisher, 1931. On this day in 2011, an earthquake struck off the northeastern coast of Honshu, Japan, causing widespread damage in the country and triggering a devastating tsunami that instigated a major nuclear accident. What else happened on this day? The World Health Organization declared that COVID-19 was a pandemic officially 2 years ago on this day. What else do we got? I saw a couple things down here. Lorraine Hansberry, A Raisin in the Sun, became the first play by an African-American woman to be produced on Broadway. And I think we saw one more down here. Some revolts. We're not going to start the day on a revolt. Or Lend-Lease acts or anything like that. Let's get into some interesting stuff, or at least maybe to some of you guys. 150 days in jail, 30 months felony probation. Judge calls him arrogant, selfish, and narcissistic. I think you know who we're talking about. Nespresso, sponsor me. Yes, it could only be Jussie Smollett. The saga continues like we're listening to Wu-Tang. Jussie Smollett was just sentenced to 150 days in jail for his elaborate hoax on the streets of Chicago. And Jussie went off on the judge, telling him if he dies in prison, it's not suicide. It got so intense, Jussie was taken into custody and left with his fist in the air on some Black Power stuff or something. I don't know what. Judge Lynn just handed down the sentence, which also includes 30 months felony probation, a $120,000 restitution fine to the city of Chicago, and will pay $25,000 fine. Judge Lynn pointed to Jussie's testimony during trial when he talked about his life, and he talked about social justice and how much it meant to him and his family. And the judge noted the irony and hypocrisy that Jussie engineered a hate crime hoax. Judge Lynn says Jussie wasn't motivated by money. He did it because he craved the attention and thought he could boost his profile by tapping into the social justice movement in America. He said he just wanted to make himself more famous, throwing himself a national pity party. Wow. The judge also made it clear he was not sentencing Jussie to satisfy public opinion. It's purely a matter of what Jussie did. The judge said there was nothing he could do that would be worse than what he did to himself, saying Jussie destroyed his life by his shenanigans. Jussie's 92-year-old grandmother got on the stand to plead for leniency, and she launched on the media for not reporting the story accurately. She called him a justice warrior. and has been steeped in social activism for years. She told the judge if he sends Jussie to prison, he should send her along with him. The lawyer for the city of Chicago made it clear this was not a victimless crime, saying that more than 30 Chicago cops investigated the case and had to review more than 1,500 hours of surveillance video. They went door to door in the freezing cold to get to the bottom of the case. They were amassing more than 1,000 hours in overtime, and it caused fatigue and stress. So we'll see what happens with that. Nespresso, sponsor me. Brandon Wade, the multi-millionaire geek who created controversial dating site Seeking Arrangements, insists he's found love with 21-year-old Dana Rosewell. Or is that Roswell? Rosewell? And will waive his right to a divorce. You big dummy. He's the controversial 51-year-old businessman who created a site hooking up rich sugar daddies with young women. She's the 21-year-old economics student that won his heart and seemingly his trust too. Infamous for announcing love was invented by poor people, Brandon Wade never expected to find the one. But it seems now he's met his soulmate, 21-year-old Dana Rosewell. What did I say? Rosewell? It's different in two different parts of this article. Who had a profile on his website, Seeking Arrangement. So sure is the thrice married millionaire that he's pledged to waive his right to divorce when he weds again this year. He's been married 3 times. This big dummy. Haven't you learned anything from you don't waive your right to a divorce. You have her commentary goes at the end. It goes at the end, not in the middle. Right. So Brandon, who lives with Dana in Las Vegas, said, "Mine and Dana's love is eternal, timeless, and transcends this life." Oh, jeez. Before meeting Dana, Brandon says he spent most of his adult life believing love was not real. But the 21-year-old opened his eyes after they connected on his own site, the one where they go to find people to hook up with. He said she said love is the only thing you should be attached to in this reality. We realized that no matter what, even if I lost every cent tomorrow, as long as I was with her on this journey to explore love, I would be okay. I didn't feel this attachment to our wealth, as we will always be there for each other. Good. That's good. That's good, because when she leaves you in 6 months and takes it, we have this quote to reference and fall back on. You've created a site for sugar daddies, and you think she's really there for the love? Well, okay, maybe she was, right? But love of money. Okay? Knock it off. Is this a classic case of having more money than sense? I'm gonna have to say possibly. We'll be updating this story before Christmas, I'm assuming. Taking a wild guess, judging off of the history of such situations as this. Who knows? Maybe she won't. Maybe she is just happy to not have to worry about going into the workforce or struggle to pay bills after graduating from college. She wants her student loans paid off because the government was like, we canceled that scheme. She wants to live in this massive mansion, have her friends over for parties, go shopping, travel. Or maybe she loves this guy that she just met on a dating site for people that want to be looked after. In related news, on tonight's finale of Joe Millionaire, for richer or poorer, Kurt Sowers does find love, but TMZ has learned there's another plot twist, one you won't see on the show. Spoiler alert. Mute the mic if you don't want to hear this, or your headphones. Kurt chooses Amanda Pace, and guess what? They're already broken up. They broke up back in December, and the show hasn't aired yet, and they're already finished. I just want to say to Brandon Wade, you might want to watch Joe Millionaire before you decide to get married. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck's baby, come on. British public will be asked to take Ukrainian refugees into their homes. Wow. Tens of thousands fleeing Russian invasion but without family links in the UK will be allowed to stay for a year. The British public will be asked to offer homes to tens of thousands of Ukrainians fleeing the Russian invasion under the plans to be announced this weekend. Ministers will launch a hotline and website enabling individuals, charities, businesses, and community groups to offer rooms to refugees with no family links in the UK. The move follows criticism of the Home Office's chaotic rollout of its scheme for Ukrainian refugees with family in the UK, which has led to delays and complaints of excessive bureaucracy. Who would have thought? Western officials on Thursdays warned that the number of refugees fleeing Ukraine could rise as high as 4 million in the coming days, almost doubling current estimates of 2.2 million. It came as Boris Johnson warned that Britons may face a bumpy period of economic pain as a result of banning oil and gas imports from Russia. The Prime Minister said the UK would take dramatic steps to achieve an independent energy supply so that we're no longer capable of being blackmailed by Putin. Household energy support loans could be doubled to £400 in the autumn under plans to help families facing even higher fuel bills because of the Russian invasion. I just got told that my gas and electric is going to double. Over $500 for the year. Estimate. They say estimate too. It was an estimate, so it's going to be $7. Just pay. People offering homes will have to agree to take Ukrainian refugees for a minimum period of potentially 6 months, demonstrate that the accommodation meets appropriate standards, and, if necessary, undergo criminal record checks, because many of those fleeing the conflict are likely to be women and children. Ministers are expected to set targets for the number of offers and will look to other accommodation providers, including councils and housing associations. The UK has only taken in 300 refugees thus far, so slingback kitten heels are back. Oh, that's great. Finally today, let's move on to this, because we're almost out of time. We probably have already run overtime. A Channel 4 documentary, The Jeremy Kyle Show, Death on Daytime. Former employees of The Jeremy Kyle Show have claimed that the ITV program gave its host a god complex and that he was incredibly nasty and demeaning. We've seen the show. In a Channel 4 documentary, ex-staff from the show, who remain anonymous and are played by actors, open up about what they say was really behind the scenes. The show ran for 14 years until ITV axed it following the death of guest Steve Diamond, who had failed a lie detector test on the show. Afterwards, a public inquiry held by MPs singled out the behavior of Chet show host Jeremy over his humiliating and demeaning behavior towards guests. Unedited footage appears in the documentary, which was also shown at the inquiry, revealing Jeremy lashing out at crew, telling them to effing shut up, and mocking guests. ITV said in a statement on Channel 4, The Jeremy Kyle Show was broadcast for 14 years. In that time, more than 20,000 people took part in the show seeking help to resolve relationship issues or to address drug or alcohol-related problems. The central purpose of the show was conflict resolution. And the show achieved many positive outcomes where people were able to resolve personal problems. I think he was just mad because his show wasn't as big as Jerry Springer's. It's amazing to me that we saw right in front of our own eyes. What we saw was Twitter. On camera. That's all it was Twitter. People fighting, throwing chairs, calling each other liars, denying babies, putting other people's businesses in the streets, and a company getting rich all in the process by selling ad space. That's not Facebook and Twitter. The poll question: would you rather have upside down eyebrows or upside down eyelashes? Thanks, MSN, for that thought-provoking poll. Have a great weekend and follow us on Instagram at V3TV UK, on Substack. It's time to go. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you when we do. Peace.